Thank you very much, Patty. It was a lovely introduction. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening. And I think God's shining his favor on us because it is not raining for the first time in a long time. So I hope that you enjoy the weather and being with community this evening. As Patty said, my name is Lori Rice. I am the president of Stop Transource Franklin County. A year ago in July, we were made aware through a phone call left on my machine that we would be invited to a meeting at the Kaufman Station, Roritan, to discuss Transource power line and the impact to this community. However, my vacation was scheduled over that time, so I didn't go. But when I returned from vacation, I was met with a neighbor man who was very concerned and threw a lot of information at us and said, write letters. So we directed all of our letters that we could to the PUC, the Pennsylvania Utility Commission. And at that time, there were 3 proposed routes through Franklin County, which still do stand. Just because we have one route that seems to be the one that they want to talk about, or you might see in the newspaper, that does not mean they will not revert to another line. And as we have seen in the last 3 days, that doesn't mean that they'll stick to those property owners that they've picked, because they've dropped some and they've added some. That's a little bit of how this all began. So when we learned what our rights were as property owners from August on, we realized that we're really at the mercy of the community working together to stop this. And therefore, we put forth efforts to hold public meetings. Maybe many of you have been there. We've done numerous educations, websites. I encourage you to visit those websites, our website. We have tried very hard to put out facts, not fluff and stuff, as Transource is pretty famous for putting out there. I was told recently that after you have 10,000 hours spent doing anything, you're considered an expert. I think I've exceeded the 10,000 hours. However, I still don't know that I feel like an expert. There's a lot to learn about the utility grid and the role that we all play with the grid. Long before I knew I was an affected landowner, I took a stance that no matter where they put that proposed line, I was going to stand against it. I encourage each and every one of you to do your own research and to stand against it. Because I learned, and I'm the kind of person, I don't really believe in leaving anybody behind. If it wasn't good, and if it wasn't right for my family and my animals and my livelihood, it's not good for anyone else's. So I took a stance and I made a vow. My Stop Transource leadership stands for one thing, and that's to stop the power line. It is no good for Franklin County. There is no economic benefit to our town, York or Maryland. But we are sure to carry all of the burden, all of the weight, all of the taxes, and yes, that lovely 2-word eminent domain phrase that keeps being flashed over and over and over and over and over again. I don't think it's right that in this day and age, with the way technology has come along, that we are still trying to force 104-year-old technology over our heads. Here's an interesting fact for you. This project, this 9A IEC project, is an efficiency project. I am still waiting for someone from Transource to answer the question, if you lose over 53% of your power in an overhead power line, it goes into the ground, the animals and the humans beneath it and around it, why are you running an overhead power line for efficiency? No one can answer that question. That is a fact. Every overhead power line that you see in your yard, your neighbor's yard, 53% of the power or more, depending on the weather, goes straight into the ground, the animals and the humans around it. It's pretty sad, isn't it? It's deplorable. DC does not care if they save 33 cents a year on their electric bill. In fact, and this is a fact, Transource doesn't even have to give them that credit. They can use it for what they want. Here's another fact. In the newspaper, they flash around about their monopoles. Yes, I believe they will use a few monopoles because of aesthetics. But the truth is, you cannot clear existing utility right-of-ways, and I have 3 on my property, with monopoles. You will use towers, and in case you're not sure how tall they are, they're 13 stories tall. Have you been to New York? That's what we will get blessed with through 29 miles of this beautiful county. And I'm sorry, I'm not willing to stand by and let that happen. There's no benefit to Franklin County. And I'm pretty sure the people that live in DC could care less if they saved 33 cents a year, or as they now claim, $1.42 a year. Before I stepped up on this stage, as in the last year and a few months have gone by, I've certainly encountered people who've said, you can't fight City Hall, so why are you doing this? Well, I'm the kind of person that I don't take no for an answer, and you don't tell me what to do. And I said, did you forget who you put people in City Hall? People like me and people like you. It has been a long, hard road for those of us in leadership. I have met some of the most fascinating people in this community. It's awesome. I live in a beautiful area. We all do. There's something else that I'd like to bring up tonight, if you're just not sure if this is something that a cause that you should take up, because Lord knows we're all burdened with so much stuff. We live in one of the most fascinating areas of the world, not for what you see on top, but really what you see underneath, or is unseen underneath. The crevasses that are under our feet are phenomenal. In fact, there's very few places in the whole United States, we're maybe, I think, one of 11, that have the unique underground geological system. And Joe Dagg did a great job presenting that to the judges at site visits here in Franklin County. And it amazes me. We take for granted every day what we walk over, what we drive over. It's a county worth saving, and I need your help. I need you to leave here tonight and tell one person, or maybe 10 people. Maybe I even need you to reach a little deeper. I have some great experts ready to go to the courthouse and fight for us. I have hired the best law firm in quite a few states, and maybe all of the United States. They're excellent. They believe we can win. I believe even more than they would believe that we will win. My husband, interestingly enough, dripped this off of his bottle this evening, and I just couldn't get up on the stage without saying it. Those who say it cannot be done should not interrupt the people doing it, and that's a proverb. And I just encourage, everybody can do something. You can read a little bit more, you can ask more questions. You're welcome to reach out to us on our website. You're welcome to seek me out this evening and ask questions. Education is key. And when I looked in the faces of my little kids, and I thought, someday they're going to grow up, and someday they're going to look at those, and maybe my great-grandkids, and they're going to say, that's awful. Why didn't somebody do something about that? The health aspects of this project bother me the most. But believe it or not, that's not the one thing that Transource is worried about. The fact that they run this through an elementary school and our kids' track and field, yeah, that really makes me grind my teeth. And the other fact of that is Tim Cook was an awesome teacher. He was a great mentor to me. And that track and field is dedicated to him and his wife. And I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it the way it looks. And guess what? When you decide to mow through the track and field with your 130-foot right-of-way, you're not going to leave any trees. It's not going to look like it does now. So if Transource wants a fight, they found it. But I'd like an army behind me. And that's what I'm looking for. I thank you again for coming out this evening. I hope that you visit our website and that you educate yourself a lot more. And that you enjoy the evening, and that you enjoy your neighbors as well. And you leave here filled with knowledge and a desire to stand strong with Stop Transource Franklin County. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Mike Ross from FCA DC, and I just thank him for his support.